And you and I actually talked about this a fair bit offline, well, online, outside of the stream.
Some
Uh,
line
yes.
somewhere.
How do I avoid getting scammed when buying collectible retro games? And we're not talking about just fake games, but also just getting scammed in general, because there's a lot of people, and you mentioned it, that price
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah. One thing that, the biggest one that I've noticed, and like I will just caveat real quick. When I was buying all of my retro games, we're approaching 10 years ago at this point. It's been a long time since I was like fully like I'm in there, like I'm buying stuff all the time. So I'm aware that the market is totally different now. So I'm fully aware of that. I bought a lot of my stuff a long time ago, um, back when you could very easily find stuff. But that being said, one thing that's to me is very difficult to do, because like let's say you go to a game show or some kind of trade show, a convention, something like that. There's vendors, they have booths, they have all this stuff. I feel like a lot of times you do get caught up in the moment, and you're not necessarily thinking about what should the prices of these games be, like what can I get this for on eBay, or whatever it may be. And but I get it, because sometimes you're like, man, I want this now. Like it's literally right here. I can put my fingers on it. It's $50. But if you pause, you're like, wait, I could go get this for $30, and I may just have to wait a few days. So I think that's one thing, and that's not easy, because especially some people's brains, it's like, no, I want it now. I want that gratification. So that to me is important. Just not getting caught up in the moment. Um, and on the eBay side, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm sure this is still a thing, but like getting in those bidding wars when you just drive the price up way too much and pay more. The thing that I always tell people about eBay is like, go out there, and whatever you are actually the most money you are willing to pay, that's the bid you make. Then if you win it, great, because you got it for that or under. But if you don't win it, that's okay, because it was more than you wanted to pay anyways. Some people think you have to kind of just incrementally dollar here, dollar here. No, no. Place that bid, and it's
Yeah,
not
and
going to automatically go up to that price. Yeah, it'll only.
it'll automatically beat anyone that bids
Yes,
lower than what
exactly.
your max is.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's something I try to tell people. Um yeah, and on like like on the fake game, like when I was really 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 collecting, I mean, I know that stuff was still around. It wasn't as prevalent as it is in more recent years, where it's so much easier to get fake copies of games, and some of them are honestly, they look good, like they look legitimate. But that's
Yeah.
also kind of a red flag, because if you're looking at a game that's 25 years old and it looks like it just came off the shelf, there's a decent chance it didn't just come off the shelf. So like,
Yep.
especially on like N64, NES, SNES games, like if you look down in where the screws are on the back, like they're probably not going to be pristine at this point. If it's a legitimate game, there's probably going to be a little dust and dirt in there, unless someone's truly cleaned it out. But it's probably not going to be crisp and clean. And there's very specific stuff, of course, you can look up on, because like every like cartridge era game, there's kind of like different tell signs for the fake one. So like, there are things you can look for without having to open it up. It is of course best to have some kind of little tool where you can actually pop those bad boys open and look at the board inside. Because if you can look at the board, that's the best way to tell if it's a fake.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you can't do that, there's some tells, like as far as like the way the sticker looks, or maybe like where it says Nintendo. I may get this backwards, but legitimate copies is, I think it's a square on the eye instead of a circle on the eye, and the fakes typically have a circle. Like N64, there's some with the way they do the serial numbers, that's makes it legitimate. And usually a lot of times you can just kind of look at the sticker. Um, I mean, if it says Pokemon instead of Pokemon, like obviously, but they've gotten a
Yep.
lot better with doing it. And honestly, the Pokemon games are probably the most prevalent ones that people are counterfeiting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, like, let's be real though. If you just really want to play Pokemon Emerald or whatever it is, and it's $15, it's fake, and it works, but you want to pay it, but you don't want to pay $60, or whatever it is. Okay, but don't turn around and try to resell it later. That's it's
Yeah.
like an honesty thing, right?
Well, that
So
happened with my
yeah,
sister. She bought some fake copies of Pokemon games for her kids, and then they weren't playing it anymore, so she turned around and was trying to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And I texted her, I'm like, "You do realize those are fake games, right?"
Right.
She's like, "No, they play them all the time. They work." I'm like, "I'm not saying that they're not the actual games. I'm just saying those are counterfeit.
Right.
They're not legitimate games." And yeah, I had somebody actually this isn't games per se, but at Blue Cross we had that little like classifieds
Yes.
on our website that the employees could get to, and someone on there was like, "Oh, I'm selling these Disney DVDs because my kids are grown up. I don't want them anymore." And so I messaged them like, "Yeah, no, that sounds great." And I went to meet up with her, and she hands me these DVDs that you flip them
Very
over,
fake.
and I'm like, "These are burnt," and all they did was they
They printed a
they
label for it.
printed the yeah. I'm like, "These are not legitimate," and she's like, "Oh," and I can pretty much guarantee she knew they weren't
Hmm.
legitimate just by looking at them. Most people would know, and she was just trying to play it off. But yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, no thanks. I don't need to get in on that." So, but
That's funny.
yeah, but even like legitimate sellers, like there's people places around here that I try to avoid as best I can. Like when it comes to buying games, I, I don't want to go to like McKay's, for instance. McKay's is
Right.
a store here that sells used all kinds of stuff, books, games, toys, and their price on used games
Pretty
is
crazy.
yeah, it's usually almost just sticker price for brand new games, and
Mhm.
these are used, and some games do hold their value, but I'm talking about like stuff for the Switch that it's clearly used. You can see scuffing all over it. It doesn't come with the box. It's just the chip, and they're trying to charge full price for it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. If I wanted to pay full price, I'd go get a new game.
I asked an employee one time, I'm like, "Why is this?" I was like, "Dude, this is more expensive than it is brand new." I was like, What's the deal here?" I was like, "I know you just work here. I'm just curious." Like, I was like, "What's the justification here?" Because he was just like putting stuff on the shelf. And he said their entire business model is based on the premise that they just like uh, pretty much assume from a pricing perspective that people are bringing other stuff in of theirs to trade in for in-store credit. So then
Oh,
when they spend $60, they don't feel like they're spending 60. So that's literally their whole business model is like, well, it's more expensive, but it's, I'm putting this in air quotes, free money because I traded stuff in. But here's the deal, when you trade stuff in, they don't give you very much for what you trade in. So they give you $1 and then try to sell it for 30.
oh man,
I
yeah.
mean, it's a good business model for them, but as a customer, it's like, eh. And real quick, just sidebar, you mentioned the classifieds. I miss those. I do miss those classifieds. Back in the day, I found some good stuff on there, but um, I'm friends with, if for people who are on YouTube, the guy, his name is Retro Wolf 88. I think main now it's just Retro Wolf on YouTube. He's a pretty big video gamer on YouTube. He does a lot of really cool stuff. He goes to conventions, so we're good friends. We met because of those classifieds. He made a
Oh,
post on those classifieds because he is a former employee as well. He made a post on those classifieds that he was looking to buy retro games. And that's when I was like in the heart of collecting. Like I was buying a ton. So I reached out to him because I always had duplicates of stuff. And we started talking. I think he bought some stuff from me. And then we end up becoming friends. And we're still friends to this day. He just texted me a couple days ago. But now he works elsewhere, but he's still doing YouTube stuff. He's got, I don't know, like 25,000 subscribers. So he's got like a big gaming channel. But yeah, that's it. All started. Our friendship started because of those classifieds. So
that's awesome.
yeah,
That's super awesome. Yeah, yeah. Just if it feels off, if your gut feels off, if there's kind of that uncanny valley, you might want to take a moment, take a step back and do some research on to how to spot different fakes. One of the popular things, like you said, with the labels and stickers, and we specifically mentioned Pokemon, a lot of those Pokemon games have a kind of like a holographic uh, a sticker on the top, and that's a common way to spot the fake is they don't have that holographic. So if you kind of bend it back and forth and it's not
Right.
shiny, then that's an easy way to spot it as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
just
and if you're at a flea market or a yard sale, I would say, and you're looking at a game, you're trying to determine if it's fake or not, you're doing some research. Also, don't take your hand off of it just in case it ends up being real. Because as you're looking and Googling, someone else might walk up and grab it and go try to buy
snag
it.
it.
So just, I've been to enough flea markets. People will literally sometimes walk up and try to grab stuff out of your hands, even though you're standing right there. You have to like, protect your area. So I was at a flea market one time, and this lady was selling some retro games and some, and this guy walked up, and he was, you could tell he was furious that I got there before he did. I mean, he was so mad, and he walked up and he started telling her, he's like, "You priced that too cheap. You're pricing that too cheap. She was like, "Please stop." And I like looked at him, and like I'm a chill dude, and I was like, "You stop right now, or I'm gonna beat the crap out of you. Like this is not your business. Stop." So,
Oh man, yeah, it's you meet some characters at flea markets. That's for
oh yeah,
sure.
I
So
miss it. I miss it.